Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Intelligent O&M Feedback. Previously, based on the data, we forecast the sales of each commodity in the region. Naturally, we hope to adjust the vending machines through operations, which means to adjust our development board. For example, we can highlight the promotion of a certain type of commodities which are expected to have poor sales volume in advance. This section describes how to remotely control devices and adjust the display sequence of offerings on the development board based on the predicted information feedback. Upon completion of this course, you will be able to understand the mechanism of authentication and command sending, and master the method of remotely controlling devices using Python. The first part of this section describes the solution of the remote control device, and then details the code implementation processes of command sending and result verification. As mentioned in the previous section, APIs are called to remotely control devices. For doing so, the first step is device authentication. Before calling an API, the device needs to be authenticated and the access token needs to be obtained. The second step is delivering commands to the device. To deliver a command, use the request library to send a post request. Before sending the request, you need to check the request parameters, including the header and body. The development environment is Python. First, let's talk about the necessity of device authentication. When an application server accesses the IoT platform for the first time, the authentication API needs to be called to complete authentication. Completing authentication is the prerequisite for calling other APIs. For calling other APIs, the request header must carry the app key and authorization parameters. The value of authorization is in the format of authorization bearer access token, where access token is obtained by calling the authentication API. Next, let's look at the implementation of device authentication. The authentication request is transmitted over HTTPS. Therefore, we need to confirm the URI address, including the port number and protocol. Now, let me show you where to find the URI. To obtain the URI, switch to Hov Cloud Chinese mainland website first. Log into the console and search IoT. The device access page is displayed. The IP address is the URI. It's here. The request method is POST. The request requires certification files, which are the client authentication certificate client, CAT, and the key client, key. The two files will be attached for download. This experiment is developed on Huawei Cloud Model Arts. Therefore we need to upload the two downloaded files to an OBS bucket and then synchronize them to Model Arts. Next, let me show you how to upload data to an OBS bucket, and how to synchronize files to Model Arts. The request parameters are app ID and secret. That is, application ID and application secret key. They can also be found in the application information of the IoT platform. Here is the application ID. And here is the application secret key. For response parameters, focus on the status code and access token. If the status code is 200, the request is successful. The displayed code is the code of the request sent for device authentication. The file path under cert is the relative path of client, CAT and client, key on the development environment model arts. After the request is sent, the returned result is printed. The value of status code is 200, which indicates that the authentication is successful, and the access token is printed. Now, let me show you how to send commands to devices. The following table lists the parameters required for sending commands. Authorization and app_key are the headers in the request body. Authorization is the obtained access token. app_key is the key of the application. The URI format is as follows, including the device ID. This is how to obtain the device ID. Access IoT device access. Choose devices is more than device list. And find the device that you have registered. This is the device ID. The request body contains the following parameters: service ID, method, expire time, and body. The value of service ID is fixed to delivery, and the value of method is fixed to set _light_on. Use the actual command as an example. In the code, each digit in the body indicates a product ID. The sequence of numbers indicates the display sequence of products on the device, that is, the development board. The initial sequence is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Changing the sequence of numbers changes the sequence in which the product is displayed. The URI format is HTTPS driver IP address, port number APIv 3.0 devices, device ID commands. How to verify the result after the command is sent. The first method is to print the result returned by the request. Execute the following code. The second method is to check the actual display effect on the development board. Compare to confirm that the display sequence has changed. Note that during these operations, keep the device online, that is, your development board is powered on and steady on. Now show the experiment process. Create a notebook. Enter and run the code shown in this video. Thank you for watching.